Just look at the last, since we were up at 31,000 here, think about what technology has done. I mean, we've had weeks where I think the NASDAQ has been up almost every single week since then, yet Bitcoin hasn't broke out. And as a risk asset, why isn't that happening?
Welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Gareth Soloway expressing his skepticism about Bitcoin's current price movement and the market conditions pointing to a crucial level from the 2021 bull market. Soloway believes that the failure of Bitcoin to break out of the $30,000 range actually suggests a potential bear market. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting just below 30,400, up 17% in the last 30 days. In a recent article on Cointelegraph, the coming Bitcoin supply shock will send BTC prices to $120,000, with 50,000 projected to be reached this year. Soloway has identified key support and resistance levels, highlighting how soon we could see a bull run in the crypto market. Let's get right into the latest interview with Gareth Soloway as he gives his prediction for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in 2023. Don't forget to share your thoughts and comments down below, and leave a like if you enjoy the content we do here. Let's get right into the video.
What I think a lot of investors in crypto aren't kind of formulating, they're thinking, okay, BlackRock ETF, it's really bullish, big money coming in. But I think also if you have a recession and the labor market cracks, there's going to be a reduction in leverage being used. There are going to be certain crypto investors who get squeezed on the leverage side and have to unload, probably some funds out there as well. So it's not all roses, especially if we head into that recession where the stock market comes down. Now, if we flip over to the charts here, there's a level, right? So number one, we're trading between this 31 and 30,000 level. And as long as we stay in that zone, then there's essentially a neutral to positive bias that we can break out. So I would say slightly better than 50% that we could actually break out. This is known as a bull flag. So I remain hesitant on Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why. In fact, let me share my screen if that's okay, because I want to show some charts here. So here we have the Bitcoin chart. And if you look at where we were on April 14th of 2023, we were right at this 31,000 marker. And if we zoom out, we can see technically that was a massive level going back to the bull market of 2021, right? So we fell here, then we went up to 65, then we came in and hit it multiple times before going to 69, and then coming back in and finally breaking down. So as long as we kind of stay in this range, I'm skeptical that this is anything but a bear market. And I know people are so bullish on Bitcoin, and long-term I am too, don't get me wrong. I just have been through enough bear markets where it's harder to convince me, because I've been burned so many times thinking it's a new bull market in the past, that I'm still waiting to see. And the one thing I would point out is, I mean, think about the massive moves in some of these tech stocks, right? So again, just look at the last, since we were up at 31,000 here, think about what technology has done. I mean, we've had weeks where I think the NASDAQ has been up almost every single week since then, yet Bitcoin hasn't broke out. And as a risk asset, why isn't that happening? And to me, that's a concern. Now, if we can break above this 31-ish level and hold, then I think you have some momentum to really have a bigger move up on Bitcoin. But till then, at least for me, I'm just remaining hesitant. So number one, we're trading between this 31 and 30,000 level. If we break below 30,000 and we get below here on a daily closing basis, that starts to concern me. That tells me, okay, there may be trouble here. Now, where would this go? I think the big answer is right with this trend line. So this would be your next stopping point. This perfectly connects through these lows right through here. And that would mean that, again, if you break below 30 and hold there, you're headed down to about 26. 26 breaks, now you're starting to talk about 20,000 again as your target. And eventually, if that breaks, then you're looking at your lows. So for me as a trader, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, it's so imperative right now that you see a breakout. You have to get this thing to go, because a failed bull flag, this is a bull flag, if it fails, that tells you something. That pattern should not fail. It should lead to further upside. And so it tells you that there's bigger money selling into it. And then you have to start watching these pinpoint levels on the way down. So again, those would be my levels at this point in time. And I think for us as technical traders, you just watch this little narrow band right now and look for the price action. there's no doubt that a spot ETF is a positive, or multiple spot ETFs is a positive for the crypto space, especially for Bitcoin. But the question again, too, is I would say, well, how long does it take? Does it take for the SEC to approve it? Because I think investors are piling into Bitcoin thinking it's within a month or two, when in reality, what if it's 6 months? What if it's 12 months? I mean, do investors have the stamina to sit around waiting for it, especially if the stock market starts to decline, if the economy starts to roll over at that point? So Polygon is one that I am semi-intrigued by. The big thing for me is so just recently in the last couple of days, we had this nice move up. But if you look at that high from June 22nd, we get up to it. And with Bitcoin's pullback the last 2 days, we've seen this declining as well. So the big thing to me is this upsloping trend line. As long as that holds, you have this wedge pattern that's getting tighter and tighter. And ultimately, if you can get a breakout on Polygon above this downsloping longer term trend line, which goes all the way back to early this year, that would be a big breakout and a potential signal that this has further upside. So right now it's kind of what I would consider in the gray zone, where you're stuck in, and I can even erase this trend line to kind of even make it clearer. So really you have this wedge pattern, and what you're watching for as a technician is, does it break above, let's say 73 cents? Okay, that's very bullish. But if it breaks below 64 cents, that would then potentially participate or signal a move back down to the lows of 50 cents. And I do want to just point out is that there will be a point where we do get clarity on what it means to be a crypto security, right? What do they have to do? What do they have to reveal? And at some point, the market will look at that when they are regulated and say, this should have an X dollar amount in terms of valuation. And that's the key. Is I think as an investor, if you're a crypto investor, most of your money is Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's no doubt about it. But there is a possibility that 1% of your portfolio could turn into 10% of your portfolio by picking up something like this. Where you take a very limited amount of risk. Where if it goes to zero, okay, it was 1%, no big deal. But it could turn out to be a big return on your investment. What I like about this chart again is that if you can take out this high and then you have resistance at around 1405, that's your level. So again, as a technician, if it can break above this 1405 level and hold, you've got a lot of potential upside there. And again, the only thing, just a reminder for everyone, is that I don't believe the SEC is done attacking the alts. So again, that would be almost too easy for us. So again, any sort of investment that you decide to make, you have to take into the risk factors of these things. Just remember, the SEC is lurking like a great white shark.
Soloway does raise questions about the timeline for SEC approval on a spot ETF in the crypto space, particularly for Bitcoin, and points out that waiting amid a stock market decline or economic instability could present challenges for crypto investors. In the wake of seismic changes in the institutional approach to Bitcoin in the United States, the mainstream narrative around the largest cryptocurrency is shifting rapidly. The large price predictions for Bitcoin lie in supply dynamics. As miners dedicate more and more resources to preserving the network, they are also selling less BTC, creating a supply and demand imbalance that will tip in the bull's favor. What do you think about Gareth Soloway's recent prediction for Bitcoin and where crypto is headed in the last half of the year? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.